Hey Monique, Matthew here with freeprescriptionlenses.com, and I'm going to cut lenses for your brand new Prada. It is model number OPR09P. Of course, it's a 52 eye size in color NA101. In fact, this is the one you saw when you came in, if you remember. And you wanted me to order you a brand new one, so that's what I did. So let me start cutting on that one. I'm going to set that one down for now. Let me take your brand new one out of all the original packaging, the same way that Prada sends it to me in. So this is your Prada case. I'm opening it for the very first time and looking at it. Your white Prada case, your Prada cleaning cloth. In fact, let me just move that out of the way. I'm going to set that down over here. You will receive all the original packaging that Prada sends to me. And this is, ooh, even the white leather on the inside. That is nice. And this is your brand new frame. Very closely. Much, much, much better. Much better. Never tried on before. So, that's the original sleeve. They send it to me so the temples don't scratch when it's being shipped. So that's the one you remember. The one you had tried on. The brand new one in my left hand. So I'm going to pop out your original demo lenses. And I'm going to put your Italian frame into my Italian Santanelli. This is the LE1000. Patternless edger, runs $30,000. I recommend everyone go out and get one. But the stylus is now tracing the shape of your left lens, and now it's going to move over and trace the shape of the right here at freeprescriptionlenses.com, where everyone loves a bargain and no one is disappointed with quality. You buy a genuine, authentic frame and you get free, clear, single vision prescription lenses or non-prescription fashion lenses. I'm going to pull up your shape on the computer. I'm going to put in your pupillary distance of 61.5. So we got that there. These are polycarb lenses that's being cut for a Xyle frame, which is an old school name for plastic. So that's that. Let me go ahead and get your lenses ready. Your right eye reads -3, -75 at 160. This is your right lens. Take it out of its packaging. I'm going to spin the axis wheel on my Marco 101 lensometer to 160. The power drum I will set at -3. I'm going to put, actually let me check, make sure everything's zeroed out perfectly. It is. Now, let's go to -3. I'm going to rotate your lens until the sphere power comes in clearly and I've identified the optical center of the lens. I spin the power drum to check your cross curve, also known as astigmatism, which I will explain later. I will put 3 dots on the lenses, which are hard for you to see, so I will darken those for you. And this, of course, is the right lens, so I'll put an R on there. Let me do the same thing for the left, which reads -275, -1.25, -275, -1.25 at 2. So I'll spin the axis wheel to 2. Take the lens out of its protective packet. Put the power drum on -275, and I will spin your lens until the sphere power and the optical center come into focus. Check your astigmatism. We are good there. Again, I will explain all that to you later. I'm going to darken those 3 dots, and that is the left lens. So, this is called a block. This is what's going to hold it in place with a little sticky pad on there while it is cutting. I'm going to place the block into my blocker, and 3M, the same people who make Post-it notes, make these double-sided stickers. The black side is the sticky side. I'm going to stick that onto the block, pull the tape away to make this side sticky, and essentially I've got an optical crosshair inside here. This is what I'm looking into. I've got a vertical meridian and a horizontal meridian. That's why I put those 3 dots on there, so I get those lined up just perfectly on a straight line, and then the vertical meridian goes right through your optical center. So I'm going to get everything lined up, put the block on, and we are good to go. The left I will put on there, put the sticker on, pull the tape away, and get everything lined up just perfectly. Oh, I missed. Just kidding. Look, dead center, optical center. Come on, Monique. Got to joke with me. So the first thing I'm going to do, speaking of bad jokes, I'm going to put this into the Chuck, or as I like to call it, the Charles, because I don't know it well enough to call it Chuck. But these calipers are going to come down and trace the shape of the right side of your frame onto the lens to make sure your lens is large enough to cut out. It's going to trace the concave side first, the rear surface, the back surface closest to your eyelashes, and then it's going to move over and trace the convex side of the lens which sits away from the face, all the while measuring the thickness to know exactly where to place the bevel. The actual cutting wheel is down here on the bottom left. It's the lighter color wheel that looks like a heavy grit sandpaper. That's going to grind away your polycarbonate material. And this wheel in the center with that little channel, that valley, that's what's going to cut the bevel onto your lens. I will have to close the door due to the sound, but for now I just want you to see is your prescription lens as it touches down onto the cutting wheel. So your lenses are, they're the lighter weight polycarb. There's three main lens materials. There's glass, plastic, and polycarb. And glass has gone by the way of the dinosaur for prescription lenses for the most part, just because no one wants to deal with that weight. And no one wants to deal with the safety issue. If they're ever hit in the face with anything accidentally, it will slice your eye way open. So, plastic is the most common and the least expensive. Polycarb is next. Polycarb is 40% thinner and lighter than regular plastic. It is also virtually unbreakable. Your lenses are bulletproof up to .22 caliber and have both UVA and UVB protection. We know what the sun's harmful ultraviolet rays can do to your skin from overexposure. Your eyes are 8 times more sensitive than your skin. So this is permanent sunscreen for your eyes. You never have to reapply like you do with creams and sprays for sunscreen for your skin. Not only are they all that, it's also an aspheric lens. A spherical lens is round. It gives you an ugly cosmetic fishbowl look appearance. Aspheric lenses are much flatter. They fit inside the frame and give you a much better cosmetic appearance. In fact, when you buy glasses online, people charge you for plastic lenses, and then they charge you to upgrade to the thinner, lighter weight polycarb, and then they charge you one more time to upgrade to the aspheric lenses. This is where I start. At everyone else's most premium lens, you get that for free from me when you buy the frame. If you notice your lens, oops, I dropped my screwdriver. Gotta be careful. See, that's why I have unbreakable bulletproof lenses. You never know when something's gonna fly up and hit you. But your lenses are completely flat, just like a nickel. If I were to take it out and stand it up on the counter, it would stand on its own. Now it's getting the bevel. It's the knife-like bevel that's gonna stay inside the bevel of your frame, so it stays inside the frame perfectly. And if you notice, there is water running in the background. Polycarbonate cuts dry. I love picking this off a lens while it cuts. But polycarbonate cuts dry where plastic and high index cut wet. There is a water cycle for polycarb, but it's at the very end, only to wash away sawdust or optical debris like the kind of stuff I'm picking off the lens now. In just a moment, this jet and that jet will start spraying water. That's when I know. Thank you, guys. That's when I know there's only about 20 seconds left in the cutting cycle. Once that's done, I'll take it out of the the Charlie, how's that? I'll take it out of the Charlie and see if it fits. Well, that's the longest 20 seconds I've ever seen. But you can't rush perfection. It'll be done when it's done. There we go. There we go, Monique. We're halfway there. And by the way, I do want to thank you for your patience while I ordered this frame out of Italy for you to replace the floor model. Now, one thing I want to do is dry your lens off before I work with it because it is slippery now. And boy, is it embarrassing when you drop a lens on live TV. And you still have a little bit of rough edges that are left over from the cutting cycle. So what I want to do is put on what's known as the safety bevel on my handstone. This is completely flat. I can put my finger on it while it's running, and my finger gets warm due to the friction. But it's that friction that allows me to smooth out those rough edges. If you notice, you have this white powdery substance on your lens now that I'm scraping off with my thumbnail. This is called Schwarf. And I do this so much, I've worn a V-shaped bevel into my thumbnail. My friends call it my occupational thumbnail. But once it's all off your lens, I collect it on the counter very neatly and very carefully. I wipe it on the floor. And this is where I say, kids, stay in school. I went to school for years to learn how to make a mess like that. So if you want to grow up and make a mess, kids, you gotta stay in school. So to see if your lens fits, I turn the frame upright, the temple's pointed downward. I tuck your lens in at the outer corner nearest me, and I use my thumbs to press in, but it does not want to budge. So I'm going to cut it down just a little bit more. This late in the day, I probably should have calibrated the equipment. I've already cut about 30 pair of glasses today, but I'm going to take it down 1/10 of a millimeter, and a millimeter is the distance between my thumbnails. Now, everyone around the world knows what a millimeter is except Americans, but I'm going to take 1/10 of that distance off that you see between my thumbnails, going all the way around the circumference. Now, it's going straight back to the bevel wheel. It's not going to the cutting wheel. And it's going to go all the way around and take 1/10 of a millimeter off until it easily pops into your frame. And again, you see the water running in the background. That does collect dust. But I like sucking in the dust, so I keep the door open. Just kidding, I like it. So let me get my fresh air dust. I keep the door open. Here comes the water jets that run for 6 minutes. 6 minutes and 20 seconds. 6 minutes. 6 minutes. 6 minutes, Dougie Fresh, you're on. On. Okay, that's enough. That's enough. Going old school, going 80s on you. So hang on, because the driver of the mission is a pro. Dougie Fresh and the Get Fresh crew with Slick Rick. Slick Rick the ruler. All right, Monique, I know you remember this. I know you remember this. You work with kids now, but you haven't always been professional. You used to wear those spandex Madonna pants, them ribbons in your hair, get out on the dance floor and shake it. Okay, out comes your lens. Let's dry it off again so I do not drop it. By the way, I do take my work very seriously. I just do not take myself seriously. When you're as good as me, you can joke around. If you don't know what you're doing, you better stay professional. You'll fool more people that way. Okay. It's off. You know what's going to happen. Onto the floor. Look at that. Kids, stay in school. All right, now let's see if it fits. I'm going to tuck it in at the outside corner. Closest to me, then using my thumbs, I press down at the nose. It snaps in perfectly. So I'm going to take your left lens and do the same thing. I'm going to flip that over to left and hit start. Start. 6 minutes. 6 minutes. All right, how about I'm going to flash back to my Geico commercial I've had stuck on my head all day. Boots and pants and boots and pants and boots and pants and boots and pants. Monique, did you notice the guy next to me sells boots and pants and boots and pants and boots and pants and boots and pants? And would you go and get your husband a rabbit? Man, for his snake. Why can't you just have a gerbil? Why can't you have something normal? A guinea pig, a goldfish. No, you got to have a big old snake. So that's that. It traced the shape of the left lens. And as soon as this starts cutting, I'm going to go ahead and continue to work on your right lens. I know what you're thinking, Monique. I waited 10 days for this? For this I waited for? Okay. I'm going to take this block off. It is no longer needed. Pull that sticker off. It is no longer needed. The red dot that is in the background is needed, so I'm going to leave that. And I'm going to spin the axis wheel back to 160. I'm going to put your lens in right over that red dot in front of my viewfinder. Check it out. And I'm reading -3 for the sphere power. And another 2 steps. Or 3 steps. I'm sorry, 3 steps. We're at -375, which is 1 tick mark away from 4. So we're good there. Your prescription reads. Don't worry, I got your personal information covered up. Your right eye reads -3, -75 at 160. The left is -275, -1 1/4 at 2. The unit of measurement, I mean, you've heard of gallons, ounces, pounds. Well, the unit of measurement in the optical world is called a diopter, and that is spelled D-I-O-P-T-E-R. Everything is in quarter increments, starting at 0, meaning no prescription. Plano it's referred to. So your right eye reads -3. So you need 12 steps of correction. Without your glasses on, things are actually way too large. So when you look at these guns, boom, 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 they look very large. But when you put your glasses on, it'll shrink them down into that little chicken wing that it really is. So You need 12 steps of correction to minify to get the correct size. Only 11 steps in your left eye. You're at minus 275. Now you need 3 steps of correction for your astigmatism. And there is a stigma over the word astigmatism. It just means shape. Someone has straight hair, someone has curly hair, that is it. This number gets everything the correct size. This number takes away the fuzzy edges. So 6s and 8s, P's and F's don't look alike. These 2 boxes on both eyes. So 3 steps for your right eye, 5 steps for your left. You have a combined power. If someone owed you $3 and they borrowed 75 cents, they would owe you minus 375. That is what we're reading, minus 375. For your right eye, we'll end up with a minus 4 combined power. 275 and 1 1/4 is $4. Now this last number is arbitrary. From a straight line 0 to 180, if this were the fine-tune knob that we're turning that knob to take away that fuzziness, we would turn it from 0 to 90, almost to 180. We'd stop at 160. Now your left eye is a 2, so we'd barely turn that knob on your left eye. But again, this is arbitrary. It really doesn't mean anything. It can be from 0 to 180. This number is the actual real numbers that we're concerned about. So that's why you can't see at night, girl. And I know you're saying, I don't see why I waited 10 days for this. Hey, imagine how my wife feels when I come home every day. She's like, I've been married 7 years to this. Hey, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? All right. So I'm going to take the lens out of the Charlie. Sorry, the clown gets to laugh every once in a while too. Okay, so I'm going to take the left lens back to the safety bevel real quick. Back to scraping that off your lens, the Schwarf, scrape that all off. You know what's coming as soon as I collect it on the counter. All right, collect it all. All right, kids, you paying attention? This time behind the back. Woo, look at that technique, kids. How many times I got to tell you, kids, stay in school. Okay, Monique, which frame was it? Which was the brand new one? I can't remember now. Actually, the one that doesn't say Prada on it, because I never took its lenses out, and this one has your right lens in there. So to test the left lens, I'm going to tuck it in at the outside corner, and then using my thumbs, I press down away from that block there. It snaps in perfectly. I'm going to take this block off, take this sticker off, draw your lens off so the water doesn't affect the reading. So I'm going to spin the axis wheel back to 2, and spin the power drum back to minus 275, and that should come in clear. I don't know what happened. I'm just teasing. That is perfect. We got minus 275, minus 1 1/4, 5 more steps of astigmatism. Look where we end up, minus 4. So your left lens is cut perfectly. Your pupillary distance is 61.5. That means from the center of one eye to the center of the other, you are 61.5 millimeters. So I'm going to hold the back of this card up, and between these red dots, I'm going to put the 0 on your right lens next to my thumb, and then next to the left lens, you can read 61.5. Hopefully my GoPro camera is good enough to capture that. So that is cut perfectly. I could not have cut this any better if I cut it myself. Wait, I did cut this myself. No wonder it turned out perfect. So the last 2 things I want to do, other than take these lenses out and put them in this frame so you'll never know. I better quit messing with you, girl. Your husband got that big old snake. But I'm going to take my optical grade acetone and clean your lenses off. Take those red dots off, unless you want to be the first one in your neighborhood to wear them like that. And of course I'm going to adjust them for you, and 99% of all optical shops will do free adjustments for those of you on the internet who are watching this and want to order a pair. But before I ship any frame all around the world, I'm going to put it in standard alignment, also known as a 3-point stance. 1, 2, and the bottom of the frame being 3. That when I set it on the counter, there is no wobble. When I say wobble, I mean a wobble like this, because 80% of people have one ear that's higher than the other. I am no different. That's why mine wobble on the table, but they sit level on me. So I press down, there is no wobble. I flip them over. Guess what? No wobble. I close each temple to make sure they overlap just perfectly, and they do. And by the way, everyone out there, this is, let's see, this is Prada, model number VPR 09P. The color is NAI, black with tortoise. This is the 52 eye size. It sells for $300. Of course, you buy the frame, you get free, clear, single vision prescription lenses. How's that for special effects when you see the print in the background and I move it back and forth? Girl, you blind. What's wrong with you? But anyway, that's it. If anyone has any questions about what I can and can't do, and there's nothing I can't do when it comes to prescription glasses. I can't be serious when I work, that's true, but there's nothing I can't do with a pair of glasses. So, if you have any questions, just email me at freeprescriptionlenses@gmail.com. Monique, I hope you enjoyed watching your glasses being made. I'm sorry it took 10 days, but you don't get the floor model that you had seen. This is brand new out of the box that no one has worn. So that is that, and everyone else out there got the chance to see how I bring that love and feeling back to glasses. Thank you.